Hey guys, and welcome to a new Mortal Kombat mobile video. So I don't know if this is going to be the second or first video technically I'm putting up for my iPad Air 4th generation. I think it's something like that. Hold on, let me check the boxes right here. Alright, yeah, iPad Air 4th generation. Wi-Fi version, not the cellular data. Not that you care about that. And since I'm on the subject of things you probably don't care about, it's sky blue, just in case you're wondering. Anyway, so yeah, I've picked up this thing. I wanted to test it out on the channel, so I've created 2 videos. It'll be this one, also a massive pack opening of the Scarlet MK11 Diamond Pack. What basically led to this, since I'm ahead on the pointless things you don't care about, basically, it comes down to I have 2 phones, 2 iPhones. I've talked about this in previous videos, but the reason I do is because I have an 11 that resets by itself. It has a hardware issue, and then I went and got a 12 Pro Max, had a different account on each. The resetting issue wasn't really ever a problem while recording. It wasn't that bad. It was enough to nag me on phone calls. That seemed to be where it did it the most. I get a new phone. It actually stopped resetting for a couple of weeks. Nonetheless, you probably know where it's going. Yeah, it did a permanent reset where it blacked out forever. You know where that's going. So, yeah, I was doing this exact team right here. Classic team. Not classic team, I'm sorry. Worst Diamonds team. And again, you know, based off information I've read online, plus how close I could get them as far as fused together, and this is as good as I could do. These are apparently all bad diamonds in people's opinions for the most part, and they're closely fused. Classic Jax is Fusion 3, so his Fusion Boost is not that big a deal. And anyway, I was doing the video, and I had one of the most epic matches. It came down to just Circle of Shadow Jax versus the entire team. Because of the way I've set him up, so I'll show you his gear first here. When I'm doing this long intro, I'll show the gear. I have this Divine Argus Cloak on him, so, you know, he keeps getting invulnerability because it's also a part of, hey, his special attacks. After Jax or his opponent uses a special attack, there's a 50% chance for him to gain invulnerability for 4 seconds. If he's hit with a negative effect, thanks to Divine Argus Cloak, there's a chance for him to get invulnerability. And it was just invulnerability like crazy, and making it through this match was absolutely insane. So I make it through, and I make it through a few more fights, and I'm like on battle 6 or 7, I think, and the phone just resets, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, if it'll just save the fight, if it just saves the fight, and I'm just going to show you guys the other gear here while I tell you the story. If it just saves the fight, I'll be fine, right? So the phone comes back on. It never pops up. The video never saves. I realize it's gone. So I look at the edge of my desk. It's not a pretty desk. I look at the phone. It's expensive. I take the phone and I slam it like a wrestler's head into the, turnbuckle, into the corner of this desk, and absolutely just, I was going to say cracked. I absolutely shattered the screen, and half of the screen is now gone on the iPhone 11. So that led to me picking up this phone, or iPad, should I say, not phone. Nonetheless, that's what's got me here. So I'm testing this thing for my channel. I always can just log in between the 2 accounts on the 12 Pro and never record on this thing again if it doesn't work out, but I want to see how it works out. So it's going to be in a whole different aspect ratio that's never been on the channel before. I already realize that now because I've already been watching Peacock on here, and I've been watching old wrestling, and back in the day they had I think it was a 4:3 ratio, like the old box TVs. It almost fits on here perfectly. So that tells me that's pretty much what it's going to be on the channel. You guys might not be a fan of that, but Nonetheless, I am going to do the worst diamond team on the iPad, see how it turns out, see how it sounds. And in case you're wondering, this other phone actually does still work. It is missing most of the screen, but I'm going to use it as an iPod. I collect vinyl records. Again, since I'm making this the worst diamond team, I'm going to make this the worst longest intro as well, with the worst pointless information. But just in case you guys are curious about more of my personal life, I collect vinyl records. You know that if you follow me on Instagram, because that's what most of my Instagram posts are about. But nonetheless, I'm going to keep this thing as an iPad for music, and I'm going to hook it up to my stereo system in my truck, because I bought a very basic truck. So even though it's a 2020 model, it doesn't have Bluetooth. Can you believe that? A 2020 model vehicle without Bluetooth. It goes through USB. So I'm going to use this thing, take everything off of it, and put on all my vinyl records that I have saved up on my external hard drive, and use it for music, because I like listening to the records without actually having to spin them and wear them out over time, and they actually sound better than the digital versions you can get on Apple. So that's cool. But I do still have one more match on this phone that I recorded. I don't believe I did commentary over it. Let me see. I did not do commentary over that video. Yeah, I did not do commentary over that video. There's one more video I need to upload from it before I do that, and it's a brutality team of Scorpion, Cabal, and Scarlet. So expect that at some point to be uploaded from a broken phone, or a phone with it's broken. It's got a reset issue and a shattered screen. So, but expect that video as well. Not sure what order these videos are going to be listed by the time they're all up, but nonetheless, that was probably 5 minutes of just yapping and yapping. I'm so sorry. Let's start. So as you guys saw, I built Tremor up with power generation and classic jacks to block and reflect damage. Of course, I've already talked about invulnerability, circle of shadow jacks. Hopefully you will be able to hear me well. That was my biggest concern. That's why I did that intro the way I did it, without talking about so much during gameplay. The thing is actually about this team is it just kind of ran through everyone. Absolutely just ran through everyone except for that one match before. So I'm thinking at some point I might get rid of the gear. See if I can make it through the tower without their gear. So I just did a test run before this video and did a few fights just to see how easy it was going to be, if it was going to be that easy again. I mean, other than that one random fight, and I made a lot of mistakes in it, that led me to having just jacks and invulnerability to save my life. Yeah, other than that fight, very easy. Not a lot of problems going through this. When it comes down to worst diamonds, you probably really need to be in survival mode to prove that with them maxed out. Especially as easy as they've made matchmaking on regular faction wars these days. But the way I'm going to do this is start with one character, kind of show what they can do. Basically, they can take out a whole team, which they just did. Which Tremor just did. Then move him to the back, move the other two forward. It's what I was doing before, so I'm going to do it again. Except at some point, like I said, I might remove gear.
Fight.
I'm going to make sure Battle 5 is not as hard as it was last time. Before I do that. Also, this is a lot different
Page of Cage.
compared to playing on a phone. Because, you know, your phone, your handheld, everything's close together. That works out so well.
Impressive.
For swiping,
Pathetic.
really anything. Swiping's the only thing I can think of right now, but tapping, swiping, everything, it's better when it's in a much crowded area, like as if it's a controller, basically. Now I kind of have to put this thing on a stand. It's annoying, because, you know, you don't want to have to put it on a stand or lay it down. Can't just lay down and relax and play like I was doing before. I definitely can't do that. I actually used to play this game on a TV. But, I mean, not like a TV that you obviously could tap, because then I would look like an insane weatherman going from place to place. But I had a little device back in the day before mirroring was a thing. At least I think it was before mirroring was a thing. Anyway, I hooked up through HDMI. And I memorized where everything was on the screen so great. Especially with the characters I use the most. It just made it like it was a controller that you couldn't feel the buttons on.
You don't scare me.
So kind of like a really old Sega controller or something. But nonetheless, it was a lot of fun. That was the funnest I had. I liked playing the game that way. Sit back in a gaming chair and just relax. The cord, of course, was a little annoying to have on your right side, hooked up to that little device that hooks up to it, and then it goes out to HDMI, and also where you can charge at the same time. And it used to freeze a lot. Now it doesn't. Before I got rid of a TV and didn't have a TV anymore, I used it a lot. When I go to hotels or wherever, when I'm traveling, I still do use it, and I don't have problems with it now. So that's good. But you can see there an example that invulnerability works really well with Circle of Shadow Jacks. I mean, when it comes down to choosing this, it's basically, I went over some videos, went over some threads, the same way I did with other videos I've done the worst of, and I write down the characters that are being mentioned the most, and then I put a strike next to the ones that are kept on being mentioned. So I also had to take into effect fusion levels for my characters. Pretty much these guys are all close together. Classic Jax is Fusion 3, but he's close to 4, so I thought, yeah, that'll work. So I went with that. There definitely could be, in my opinion, some swap arounds, and there would be if Fusion allowed for it. But there's also some names I can't even believe made it onto the list. Someone said Classic Liu Kang was one of the worst, and MK11 Scorpion was one of the worst, but both of those cards are, I mean, the best, if not in the battle for which one is the best. So some of the opinions out there are crazy. So these lists are videos of worsts, if you want to call it, or not based off my opinions whatsoever. It's just based off what I've looked up from the community. Yeah, definitely might have to go removing gear, because this all of a sudden is looking like, looking like a really good diamond team. I don't see why I'm facing this team. It seems like I'm just going to annihilate them.
Fight. A waste of my talent. Get some.
Yeah, me personally,
Earthquake.
Black Dragon Tremor wouldn't be on here, but I couldn't ignore the fact that he was mentioned so many times
Outstanding.
by so many people who universally agreed these, not just him, but these three were very bad cards. So don't get mad at me if you see a card, you're like, why would you put that card on there? It's totally based on everything that I read and look up, because for me, there's cards that are horrible, but I put gear on them and make them good, and I'll put them on my team, and I'll have fun. Like, every one of these worst videos I've done so far have actually been fun, and it actually makes me like the cards. I mean, the video I did with had Swarm Queen Devora, Spectral Ermac, and someone else. I just can't think of it right now off the top of my head. It's one of the funnest videos I've done in a long time. So, I mean, you know, yeah, worst gold cards, but I had a lot of fun, and it turns out a couple of those cards actually were not anywhere close to being the worst. And it's kind of the same thing here. I mean, I'm not saying Black Dragon Tremor is good by any means, or Circle of Shadow Jax is good by any means, but they might have not made my list. Now, Classic Jax, yeah, probably so. Okay, so this was the battle that got me last time. I got to Battle 5 and it was insane. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case here. I think after this round, I'm going to take the gear off these guys.
Fight. Gotcha. Impressive.
Again, it's just that invulnerability. I mean, and putting him with other Circle of Shadow characters. Now, he might be the weakest link in other Circle of Shadow teams,
You suck.
but still, nonetheless, Circle of Shadow teams are amazing.
Gotcha.
Can absolutely wreck Elder Tower, Faction Wars. They just turn it into a joke, you know? So, great cards. When they're together. Now, if you're talking about putting them on random teams, I mean, still, Jax with this gear, you got something. A lot of invulnerability. Maybe his attack's not so strong. Maybe you could work with the invulnerability and put on some better gear and make his attacks even stronger, make his special 2 stronger, make his special 1 stronger, whichever one you want to focus on, and have something even more. So maybe, if anything, the video could inspire people to look around that. But what I'm going to do is take the gear off these guys. Alright, so let's just take off all the gear.
Jax.
See what that does.
Fight.
Because now without the gear, we are really just judging the characters on their basic setup the way they come. It's probably the way I should have been doing all these. Let's look at this, because I'm about to lose Classic Jax right now. That damage, though.
Gotcha.
He has got a good special, too. There's no denying that. Everyone did kind of talk about that, too. Yeah, he's a bad card, but his special, too, does do quite a bit of good damage. I should have kept him in. He had his invulnerability. This is the guy I want in here because I want to stun him and keep him stunned. If this knocked him out, never mind. Poor Raiden. Okay, so the other cards besides Classic Kano were weak. Never had a chance as long as I got rid of Kano. And that's special too from Classic Jax. I mean,
Excellent.
yeah, he probably would have made the team. If Wretched Devora had a closer fusion to these guys, she probably would have made the team. Assassin's Katana. I just got through trying to use her in Survivor and regular Faction Wars a couple of times as well. Tried to put a team around her and Black Dragon Kano because they were mentioned. Could not find, a diamond that I could put with them that would fusion boost them that all of a sudden didn't make it seem like that team was so dominant. Because the thing about the fusion boost, you could take 2 fusion 10 cards and you put a really low fusion with them and boost it up. It's like the game does not recognize that, so it does not stick you with hard teams. It sticks you with easier teams and you just annihilate them. So probably Black Dragon Kano, either Assassin's Katana or Classic Jax, and Wretched Devora would have been my initial personal diamond team to use. And actually, that's only because Wretched Devora is only because everyone else's opinion. I haven't used her enough to come up with one of my own. I honestly need to do the all Devora team and use her on different teams. She might be a good card. I don't know. I've had her forever, but she's stayed load fusion for so long that I've just never really used her for anything. So maybe the team I'm saying I would use would be Classic Jax, Black Dragon Kano, and Assassin's Katana. Just in case anyone's knowing what my personal, worst diamonds team would be. From my experience, those 3. Which I haven't used Black Dragon Kano that much. When he was Cutthroat Kano, I did. I made a Worst Golds video a long, long time ago. I named it something else, I think, or maybe I did name it Worst Gold Team. And it had him on the team. And I made a serious mistake there. Too much talking, not enough play. Gonna get him tagged out. Oh no, he had block breaker. If he'll ever stop hitting.
Impressive. Impressive.
Okay, so this is gonna get bad quick. let's get rid of somebody here, hopefully. See if the special 2 comes in handy. Yeah, get out. I might somehow get through this without losing a character.
Gotcha. Gonna feel that for days.
I don't know how I did not lose somebody off that. I made that an intense match. That was my fault. Yapping at the beginning. Getting hit with... And then bringing Trimmer in to get annihilated by Classic Kano on steroids. So, yeah. There it is. Based on what I've read from the community. I went over that much. So, that's it. Worst diamonds. Probably won't touch diamonds again because it's the way my collection is, at least for a while. Probably going to move on to silver and bronze. So for now, that is diamonds, and I have them covered. I also got to do a couple of test videos here with the iPad Air. So I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next Mortal Kombat mobile video.